Hello everybody, Jackson here with the World Squad. Today we'll be talking about the stock market, mainly the S&P 500. Right now we're looking at the year, and we could zoom out a little bit. You could see the actual impact that this 200-day moving average has had on the market lately, right? We're looking only at the year, so you could see um, at least 1, 2, 3 instances back in 2020 and 2019. And then we can see a very easy one to spot, August 16th, where the SP 500 was, rejected, where the trend line rejected the SP 500 and shot it back down. Now, what is also important to note is we are coming up to that important date where we hit this line. Now, when that happens, there's obviously two things that's going to happen. One, we hit it, we go right back down like this, exactly like that. Or two, we hit it, go over it, and usually what happens is we go over it, it bounces back off of it, acting as support now, and then we keep going up. It's not necessarily important because it could happen at any time. We could go down at any time, go up any time, but this is just more resistance. So the chances are that it will be shot back down unless this is a strong rally, which it doesn't really seem so. We see a lot of red days. While it does creep up, we see a lot of red. Over the 5 years, though, we have seen more and more be impactful with this 200-day moving average. And if you don't know what that is, it's exactly the 200 candles compiled into one price. So the last 200 days, I'm sorry, in this example, we're looking at the 5 years. So each candle is a week. So this is a 200-week moving average, essentially. And then you go back to all-time chart, and that's a month. So we're looking at 200 months. That's the average price. But that doesn't really mean much, right? It's so down there that we may never see a $200 SPY again. But looking at the 5 year, right, 360, we've seen that just last month. We saw it in October. So the chances are we could see it again. When we do see it, we will, like we've seen, bounce off of it. That's what we've seen happen in the past. That will probably happen in the future. Now, talking about years timing, it looks like it's going to be rejected and jump below, keep going and keep falling, right? Only to later hit this price once again, 360 area. Or who knows, it could bounce off and it could have a strong rally and keep going. But by the looks of it, it doesn't look good. And of course, the more you go into the more present dates, like 3 months, 6 months, 1 month, it doesn't have as much meaning. The moving average, so you'd have to do 100 or 50, right? You can see the 100 has some impact here. You could definitely see that. Or 50. So it's all essentially the same. It's the past whatever days of price action compiled into one line. It's also, we could actually see some, hopefully we could put some more moving averages here. Alright, so we only need 3, but I'll X the RSI out and get another one in here. So let's see the impact. We're looking at the 200, the 100, and the 50. So just looking at these 3 lines, we can predict a lot of what happens in the stock market. This purple line is the 50. It's the one that usually has a high price, not right now. You can see here we've hit it a couple times in the beginning of the past 5 years. And every time we hit it, we usually jump above it. But when we go below it, then it acts as resistance which it looks like it will be here soon. You can see it acted as resistance right here, act as support, as support, as support. Then we're looking at the 100, and you can see not much impact, not much impact at all actually. So this is the 100-day moving average, or in this example 100 week. So it might be more impactful on the year timeline when it is this line right here. So we could see acting as resistance right here, resistance, acting as resistance. So yeah, the shorter time frame you're looking at, the shorter the moving average has to be impactful. So we just looked at the 100-day moving average on the 5-year timeline. Looking at the 1 year, it is more impactful. Looking at this past 6 months, you see a whole bunch of craziness. Doesn't really make much sense looking at it like this. We got to take out the 200, maybe even the 100, is focused on the 50. That's essentially how you do it, guys. The shorter the timeline, the newer your moving average has to be. This is the 50 and the 100 and 200. Looking at the 50, you can see it does actually have some impact here. We just bounced off of that, same as the 5-year 200. It looks like it's in the same place. But hopefully you could use moving averages to your success in predicting, although predicting is not necessarily the best use of your time. It does have some sense, right? This is also, without saying, but generally news and government actions don't really work with moving averages, right? That's why individual stocks are harder to predict than just the index funds, because individual stocks have company news, right? They could go up or down in 10% in one day with some news that they put out, but the stock market, the general stock market, can't do that. 10% is a lot, and it won't happen. But any stock could do that with the right amount of news, or they could go the other way with the bad news, right? Just a matter of what type of news is it and how volatile the stock is going to be. That's how these moving averages aren't so useful with individual stocks. Sure, if a stock has no news at all and no earnings report, yeah, that works, but that won't happen. And maybe you could look at the past like 2 months before an earnings report and see if we make a difference. But that's only so useful, guys. So hopefully this video has done you some justice, done you some service in learning about moving averages and where the S&P 500 is headed. Let's go back here again. We can see jumping off of the 200-day, getting soon to hit the 50 and 100, and that's the all-time chart. Oh, that's the 5-year chart, sorry. And then the 1 year, we're hitting that 200 pretty soon here, and that's going to create some resistance. So hopefully you are waiting for that, because it does look like it's going to happen here soon. That's the video, guys. Thank you for watching.